you said on CNBC that RFK Jr. could cost lives as HHS secretary. I would assume that means that you would prefer he not become HHS secretary. Is that a fair statement?
That's right.
Yeah. I was hoping you could run us through exactly what it is that you think he could do on vaccines that would be damaging. I mean, there's not really a chance of unapproving MMR, is there? I think it would be useful for people to know how one would go about actually reducing vaccine acceptance and penetrance from that purge.
So I think you'll see efforts to do things like disband ACIP, try to get like-minded people, anti-vaxxers on ACIP who would potentially... That's
the vaccine committee at the CDC.
The Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices that advises CDC on immunization practices and makes recommendations about what should be included in the childhood immunization schedule. So if you took all the vaccines that are currently recommended by CDC and you moved them into the category that's called joint decision-making, which is a separate category that that requires a joint decision between the physician and the patient as opposed to being recommended where it becomes part of the childhood immunization schedule and the school entrance requirements, that could put a lot of pressure on a lot of red states that are currently under pressure to do away with childhood immunization schedules at the state legislature level to say we no longer have the sort of imprimatur of CDC. You've basically taken away the cover. Right now they feel bound by CDC's recommendations. You could tie reporting requirements to the Vaccine for Children's program, which vaccinates more than 50% of the children in this country, where you could say that you have to report, for example, perhaps the immigration status of children, or you have to report whether or not they were offered a religious exemption. That would put a lot of pressure on blue states not to take that money. You could try to relitigate which vaccines could be given in conjunction with each other and open that up to some speculation and debate, and maybe put some restrictions about which vaccines could be given in conjunction with each other, arguing that there isn't sufficient data to say this vaccine and this vaccine should be given at the same time. And the vaccine schedule, a lot of the things we do with the vaccine schedule in terms of when vaccines are delivered aren't things that have been carefully studied. A lot of it is to conform with the practice of medicine when pediatricians can bring patients back into the office. And so if you were to change that, I think that would put a lot of pressure on pediatricians, or make it harder for pediatricians to get patients back into the office to administer the vaccines on a regular schedule.